Hello learners, welcome to Education Online program. I'm teacher Regina Massimo, teaching you biology for Senior 3 and Senior 4. Our topic of today is role of photosynthesis and respiration in carbon cycle. In the two previous lessons, we learned about the importance of photosynthesis and respiration in living things. Then the importance of these two biochemical processes were summarized into 3 points. Point number 1, they provide very essential elements for the life. That was discussed as a topic, provision of essential elements. The second role was provision of energy. Photosynthesis and respiration, these are the two biochemical processes. They provide living things with most of the energy needed by the living things. The third role is this one. They play role in carbon dioxide. They play role in carbon cycle because they are part of carbon cycle processes. Photosynthesis and respiration are part of carbon cycle processes. How are they part of carbon cycle processes? The respiration or cellular respiration release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, while photosynthesis pull it out of the atmosphere. Cellular respiration releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere or into the environment. While photosynthesis pulls carbon dioxide out of the environment or atmosphere. That means the two processes are working together. So the carbon cycle can be defined as process of removing and replacing carbon dioxide in the air to keep it percentage constant. Carbon cycle can be defined as the process of removing and replacing the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to keep its percentage constant. Carbon cycle is the process of removing and replacing carbon dioxide to the atmosphere to keep percentage constant. Carbon cycle is a process of removing and replacing carbon dioxide in the air to keep its percentage constant. So the major stores of carbon, that means carbon are stored in some places, or there are some sites where it occurs. And these are called as the major store of carbon in the carbon cycle. The major stores of carbon in the carbon cycle. Carbon cycle. This topic tells us where does the carbon that recycle comes from in the environment, or how can we get the carbon that recycle around in the or on the earth. So there are some stores where they can release this carbon in the carbon cycle. There are 4, because carbon cycles from carbon dioxide to glucose. Carbon cycles from carbon dioxide to glucose. So what are the places that we can get carbon dioxide from it to make carbon cycle continue? The carbon, the one cycling around, we get it from the carbon dioxide. And these carbon dioxide are found in many places. In many places. They are released from that place, they go into the atmosphere. Again, it is hunted, or they are pulled out to be changed into glucose. That's why it said here, carbon cycles from carbon dioxide to glucose. And these are the stores. The below are the stores. The below are the stores. 1. This carbon dioxide, we can get it from the atmosphere. The atmosphere, or atmospheric carbon dioxide. Another place from where we can get these organic matters. Organic matters. That means from the body of plant, animals, and from the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. When we burn them. From the rocks. Such as calcium carbonate, atmospheric. From the rocks, like example, is the calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate. Or it's called what? Limestone. Known as limestone. The last is the ocean. Ocean. We get it dissolved in the water. This dissolved carbon dioxide. So since these are the stores, let us now have a sketch of carbon cycle to prove that these are the sources of carbon. These are the sources of carbon. In the atmosphere, we have carbon dioxide, and carbon cycles from carbon dioxide. And this is where we get carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We can get carbon dioxide from organic matter, just from plant or animal, and fossil fuels. We can get carbon dioxide from the rocks, for example, limestone or calcium carbonate. We can get carbon dioxide from ocean, the dissolved one. Now let us have the sketch of carbon cycle to prove that these are the places where we can get carbon dioxide. We have the atmospheric here, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And this is the one will be pulled through the photosynthesis. Will be pulled from the atmosphere through the photosynthesis. And this photosynthesis takes place in plants, organic compound in plant, because through the photosynthesis, glucose are formed, and glucose is inorganic. It is organic compound in plant. Then, when this glucose is prepared, now animal comes to feed on this plant, feeding. If the animal fed on the plant, that means the organic compound from the plant already transferred to the animal. Here, organic compound in animal. And this animal breathe. That means after taking oxygen from the environment, this organic compound will be broken into its smallest units to release energy. So here you'll find the byproducts are carbon dioxide. That's why this one, through the respiration will send carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere. And don't forget that both animal and plant, they die. Animal and plants, they die. Here death, here also death. When the plant and animal, they die, the body of them will be decomposed by the decomposers. So carbon compound in dead organ. Here we have carbon compound in dead matter. In dead matter or dead organic matter. the decomposers like fungi, bacteria, they also breathe. When they breathe, because they are here busy decomposing the body of plant and the body of animal. Here, when the body is decomposed, since we have some carbon compound in that dead body, also carbon dioxide can release from this dead matter. Carbon dioxide can be released from this dead matter during the decomposition through the decomposers. The same decomposers, their cells breathe, or there is cellular respiration taking place in their cell. When cellular respiration takes place, carbon dioxide is what? Released into this respiration in decomposers. Also, the carbon dioxide is released back to the atmosphere. Then some of the plants, when they die, not all the body will be decomposed. Some of the bodies will be buried under the ground. It stays there for long with that temperature. Then it converted, or it changed into fossil fuels. So what is taking place here? Fossilization. Fossilization. To give us fossil fuel like petrol, charcoal, all these fuels, if they are burned here through combustion. Then the carbon dioxide go back to the atmosphere. So this is the carbon cycle. This carbon cycle. We say that carbon cycle from carbon dioxide to glucose. We have, these are the place where we get atmosphere here, the atmosphere, and the organic matters here, the atmosphere here. Carbon dioxide is captured or pulled from the atmosphere by the plant to make glucose. Then the matter, organic matters, are the body of living organism, plant and animal. This is where we get the organic matter. So when the organic matter is burned through respiration, it releases carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere. This matter, organic, if they are dead, they are decomposed. During the process of decomposition, carbon dioxide is released, going back to the atmosphere. The same decomposers, they release carbon dioxide through respiration, and that carbon dioxide going back to the atmosphere. This plant and animal, the dead body of them, will not all decompose. Some of the, or part of their body, will be buried under the ground and stay for long period of time, plus the heat under the ground, they change into fossil fuel. That means the process is taking place here, fossilization. So these fuels, when they are burned, they release what? Carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide go back to the atmosphere. Again, it is pulled out or hunted by plants through photosynthesis. This is how the carbon cycle take place in the environment. So from these carbon cycles, there are some main processes. What are the main processes in carbon cycle. As I've said right from the beginning, photosynthesis and respiration, they are part of carbon cycle processes. When you look at this carbon cycle diagram here respiration, sending back carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Here, combustion, taking it back to the atmosphere. Here, photosynthesis, bringing it out of the atmosphere to be changed or to be used for making organic compound in plant. So these are processes. These are process. The respiration process, photosynthesis process, combustion is process, even feeding is process. These are processes in the carbon cycle. Main processes of carbon cycle. Main of carbon cycle. Photosynthesis, this one. 2, respiration. Before respiration, I put feeding first. Feeding, then followed by respiration, then last one is combustion. This burning. We know very well photosynthesis take place, or green plant take in carbon dioxide and water to produce glucose. Through this carbon dioxide plus water will give us glucose. This glucose will be taken by the animal as a nutrient, then into the body of living organisms through the process of feeding. That means this organic compound can be taken from the plant and is stored in the body of animal through feeding. That's why I said here, when animal consume plant or other animal, the carbon is carried along the food chain through the digestion process. So both animal and plant die and are decomposed by bacteria and fungi. This inorganic compound is made in the plant. Then animal come feed on it on the plant so that it is to carry the carbon into the body through the process of feeding. That means now the body of living organism the body of animal also having this organic in the body. That's why when both plant and animal they die, they are decomposed. Then they will send back again carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. The animal and plants, those who are still alive, through breathing they take in oxygen. Then the oxygen will break down the glucose into carbon dioxide. This is the glucose. In the presence of oxygen, will give us carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. This carbon dioxide, through respiration will be sent back to the atmosphere again. Combustion, this burning. Any chemical compound, if it is burned, the products or the byproducts are carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Plus water plus energy. Any organic compound, if it is burned, the result is carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide plus water plus energy. So for example, charcoal. When we burn charcoal, that's an example of compound or organic compound. It gives what? Carbon dioxide, or it gives carbon monoxide plus the water. This water, we don't see it because it's also in form of gas. Then plus the energy. That energy is the one used to cook our food if we burn the charcoal, or the wood even itself. When the wood is burning, it gives out carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. Carbon dioxide is given when there is a sufficient supply of oxygen. If there's a sufficient supply of oxygen, that means the organic is burned completely. So if it is burned completely, it produces what? Carbon dioxide. But if there is insufficient supply of oxygen, the burning will be incomplete. And if the burning is incomplete, the byproduct is carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide is very dangerous gas. It is dangerous than carbon dioxide. So up to here, dear learners, we have come to the end of our lesson. We call it a day. We meet next